The object of Taxi Chronicles is to allow real riders with real stories share their experience and enhance your life. So sit back and enjoy the journey. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we have an interesting guy in the house. He's good with money, ladies. I don't know if he's single. He's a financial consultant, but in his spare time, he's not wasting his time. He's actually got his own company, events company. He's a joint founder, from what I understand. He's going to tell us all about it and why he started it and how he got into it. So nice to meet you here. Nice to have you here today.
Morning.
Okay. So furthermore, give us a bit of your background. What were you like when you were in school?
Really simple, to be honest with you. I loved football. I was really good at football, best at football. And yeah, pretty much very, very focused on football and trying to become a football player, which unfortunately didn't happen. But I was very happy, loved playing with other kids. I was quite good academically as well. Yeah, but football is definitely, I'd probably say, my passion.
Okay, that's good. Did you play for any big teams?
No, unfortunately. I guess sometimes life has a different path for you. So when I was 12, me and my family moved to Nigeria for a couple of years, which sort of, ended that dream. But I did get scouted by quite a few top teams.
Okay, but Nigeria has a football league, don't they?
Yes, they do, and it's growing. It is growing. I think at the time, obviously, the leagues weren't as, developed and hadn't progressed to the stages they are now. But I did play a lot of football in Nigeria. Enjoyed it. Won a couple of trophies at the school I played at. So my progression as a player continued when I went there.
Okay. So tell us, you work in finance. Why finance?
To be really honest with you, I did economics at uni. It was something I was quite good at. And when you do economics, it usually leads you down a path of, some sort of finance or something within the financial services industry. I worked really hard to try and get a job after not being able to get one for a while. And when I finally did, I've kind of just progressed through that industry until this point.
Okay. So what's the name of this events company that you have?
It's called Bean Sauce.
And where does that derive from?
So I will say that sauce is, a word, slang that, we kind of use. My ends, sort of North London, someone says you're a saucy guy, it means that, you can dress well, you're cool, you got some style. So that was something that, kind of had been thrown around for a while.
To throw the beans in there, why is the beans come?
One day, we were complimenting one of my friends who's actually one of the co-founders with me, and it was an idea I had while I was on holiday in Colombia actually, and I had come back, and a couple of our friends who were doing events at the time they had got us involved in some capacity in what they were doing, but I didn't think we were getting a fair shake in terms of what we brought. And so with saying you're a saucy guy, my friend just sort of replied and said, I've been saucy. And we ended up going with Bean Sauce.
Okay. So where can people find that you on social media?
So we have our page called Bean Sauce. So it's BENSAUCE. So that's BEENSAUSCE. Sorry, I keep spelling that wrong, but Bean Sauce. We've actually got an event coming up next week, Saturday, Tufnell Park, a place called The Dome. It's going to be another amazing one, our first one of the year as well.
Going back to your social media handle, is that the same on all platforms? TikTok?
So we don't have TikTok quite yet. Not sure if we'll be getting it. I have not always been the biggest fan of TikTok, not because I don't think it's good, but yeah, it's not really my thing. But down the line, maybe we might. But we're on Instagram, and it's bean.sauce if you're looking for us.
Okay.
So yeah.
So What have you learnt about the events industry that you wish you knew when you had started?
One, I'd probably say there are a lot of hurdles. Obviously, being a black co-founder, my two other co-founders being black as well, there are a lot of hurdles. People will subtly, dismiss your events, but they won't tell you why. They'll say, things like, we're trying maybe not to focus on hip-hop events right now. And again, I think that's putting us in a box because we don't only do hip-hop events. That's not the only crowd we cater to. But I think I was a bit naive, in the beginning, thinking that everyone would give us a fair shake. So I wish I knew that. I'd also say, I guess from a more positive perspective, I wish I knew the impact it would have on people. Events, parties, even though they're things that, maybe we probably take for granted because they're always available in there. Having a place where people, especially people from, different groups can come, have a good time, it does make a huge difference. It makes them feel like they have a place that they can call theirs. And I guess lastly, I wish I'd known how much it helped me build my network. Really built, a really strong network, friends, professionals, from doing it over the last couple of years. I didn't really expect that. I probably just was thinking more about the money, but it really does help you build a network.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. When you said you get subtle no's, are those from like people who own buildings?
Probably more so from the managers of the venues. They usually come back and say they've spoken to, whether it's senior management or they've spoken to the owner, and they've agreed or they decided that this is probably not maybe the best event or the best time, or they can't give us this, which makes during the event almost, not worth the time and the effort and the money that we might put in. So stuff like that.
Okay. What kind of numbers do you draw?
The numbers game. Before I answer that question, I'd like to say to anyone whether it's doing events or any type of business, don't focus on the numbers. They'll mislead you. They'll give you a false sense of security or false sense of confidence. It can go either way.
Why is that?
Because numbers don't always tell a story. Everything has an origin story. Everything has to start from somewhere, and where you might want it to be might not be where things need to be at that point in time. It might not be God's plan for where that's it needs to be at that time. You might want to take it through a couple of lessons first. So that's what I mean by that. But to answer the question directly, we usually pull anywhere over 350, 400 people.
Okay, that's good though.
Yeah, no, it's very good. But I do want to say we didn't start there. We started at 100 people our first event. Barely getting that. And we built it.
100 people, still quite enough people to make a party though.
Yeah, no, of course.
Especially if it's a house party.
And that's what I'm saying, right? Unfortunately, we don't do house parties. We probably do more commercial parties in terms of of commercial venues around London. House parties probably get a bit too rowdy. I do try and respect, communities and neighbours.
Okay.
But yeah, no. Well, yeah, we're very, very proud of where we've got to at this point, but we had to start from somewhere.
How long have you been going for?
I believe our first party was in 2018, so going on 4 years now.
Were you still operating during the lockdown?
No, during the lockdown, we definitely had to. We weren't able to, which was quite difficult.
On, Boris was.
Yeah. Yes, he definitely was. I guess some people don't have to play by the rules, right?
Yeah, I hear you. So what's the future hold for you?
Hopefully more blessings, more opportunities. Looking to expand, obviously, my business. I'm also in artist management. I manage a really, really amazing artist. His name is King K. Please go look him up. We're releasing a single next week called Wavy K. I promise you, this guy is going straight to the top. He's a rapper, but loves to flow over R&B beats. Sometimes we refer to him as R&B K. But yes, I manage an artist also called King K, and you can find him on Instagram, King K Music _. But great artist, and releasing a single next week called Wavy K, and project later in the summer called Last Days of Summer.
Okay. Have you produced many artists before?
No, this is actually the first artist that I'm managing and executive producing full time. I'm learning a lot as I go on the journey.
What are the vital things you've learned so far?
Well, one, that you can't be too cool for school. You can't be too proud. You have to be able to humble yourself, especially in like any industry, but especially in the music industry, because you're going to be reaching out to a lot of people. They might not respond. Don't take it personally and move on. Secondly, like most things, it's a lot of hard work. You've got to put your money where your mouth is. You've got, get down dirty, get your hands dirty, work very hard, because at the end of the day, no one's going to hear your music if you aren't essentially putting in work in order to make that quality music. And I guess last but not least, always integrity, always be a stand-up person. It might mean that your journey is slower than other people who do it for other reasons or take other routes, but in the end, things like integrity, honor, respect, I believe they get you to where you want to, all in God's time as well.
Okay, that's good. So, you ever considered moving back to Nigeria to do business there?
Oh yes, I do all the time.
Is that in the plans?
Yeah, definitely might be. That's my home.
Beans and sauce.
Yeah, that's my home. I'm
Okay.
Nigerian before I'm anything else. So that opportunity will always be there for me, and I'm sure at the right time I'll take that up.
Okay. Well, it's been an interesting journey. You've been a great guest.
Thank you.
And we wish you well.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And thanks for listening to that episode. Do not forget to listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where we interview people who invested in Africa from around the world. They share their story, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the highs and the lows of what it's like to invest in Africa. Apart from that, have a nice day. We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day, as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.